mentality with Metro Prime 4. I feel like a company from a company perspective, I feel like a lot of bigger companies have learned that it's all about timing. It's not just about the content and what the product is, it's also about timing. And so if you release a specific game at a certain time, it's more likely to do well than releasing it at another specific time. And I feel like that's definitely the case for not only Hollow Knight Silksong, but also Metroid Prime 4. But
I think like whenever we see Switch 2 for the first time, I don't know when that's going to be, but whenever we do see it for the first time, we will see Metroid Prime 4.
it's hard.
If okay, here's the thing.
Mhm.
I'm not really like I was here's my thing with Metroid Prime 4. Flash forward to October 2022.
Uh huh.
So last year, there was rumors that the Metroid Prime like remaster remake, we didn't know what it was called then. The Metroid Prime remake would be announced that November of
Hmm.
2022, but
Right.
it wasn't. And I was like, if this Metroid Prime remaster remake comes out, they need to at least acknowledge Metroid Prime 4's existence. Because when they announced Metroid Dread, they acknowledged Metroid Prime 4's existence.
They did.
Flash forward to February 2023, we got Metroid Prime remastered, but they said nothing about Metroid Prime 4. So I was like, why? Why?
It's
What
a
is this?
it's going to be a launch title with the Switch too.
But hear this. I was like, we got to see something in June of 2023. We got to see something. Nothing. We got nothing. And then I was like, if we don't get anything in September of 2023, then we're going to go with this entire year with no Metroid Prime 4. And I just found that so unbelievable because I was like, 2019, of course, delay, restart of development. 2020, nothing, obviously, because COVID. So starting with 2021. 2021, nothing. Nothing. 2022, nothing. Actually, 2021 we got the mention of Metroid Prime 4. When they announced Metroid Dread, they're like Metroid Prime 4 is still in development, but wait for a bit because Metroid Dread. 2022, nothing. 2023, nothing. And like that's insane to me. So like if there is a Switch 2 reveal and there's no Metroid Prime 4, then at that point I will be like a little angry. I'll
Right.
be
So
like,
I
you can't
agree.
do this. You can't.
I agree, but what's crazy to me is that for them to announce the Switch 2 and have like a blowout direct, or like what they did in 2017 where it wasn't a direct but it was like a presentation, like a non-direct presentation in January. um I feel like the Switch 2 should have been announced already, and I feel like this was kind of the last chance to do it. So I feel like it's just kind of weird with the Switch 2. I'm starting to think we won't even get it next year. Um
Well, why do you say that?
because there's even
There's
bit
plenty of time to announce it next year. We have the entire year
I know,
to.
but uh, I mean, I feel like they would have done it. I just feel like they would have done it already and then start marketing it in with it. Number one, they did what they did with Breath of the Wild. They would have started marketing it with the game. So they would have, for example, 2016, late 2016, they announced the Switch, and then we know that Breath of the Wild is coming to the Switch. So then they continue to market the Switch within the final direct of 2016, and then in the Game Awards of 2016. They continued to use Breath of the Wild to push marketing for the Switch, even though they didn't mention it specifically. And then by January, then they had the blowout, even where they announced Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. So to
But the thing
me,
is, I will say this:
what?
if they ride the high of Switch 2 announcement now with Metroid Prime 4, I personally don't think that would have worked because Metroid Prime 4 will look and play very well, but from Nintendo's standpoint, it's not a game that will sell the Switch 2. It's not a
Uh,
Mario or a Mario Kart or a Zelda, which is like a multi-million seller, which is like Metroid's like highest like sales in games wise is like 3 million, which is nowhere close to what Mario and Zelda have done. So that's my only thing. So I think when they're ready to announce Switch 2, they'll have like a good Mario game, a good Mario Kart game, and Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 will be like that boost because honestly, Metroid Prime 4 will probably not sell as much as the Mario and Mario Kart and whatever else they have there. So
Yeah.
if they only had Metroid Prime 4, like they were willing to go only Zelda Breath of the Wild because it worked and they knew that it was going to work because it's Zelda and Zelda's like a tentpole Nintendo thing. With Metroid, I always hope that it reaches that like status of Zelda and Mario, but I don't know if it will. We will see. But when it comes to Switch 2, I have full faith. Full faith meaning like I have full confidence. I will say that instead of full faith. I have a very full confidence that we will see Switch 2 sometime next year. If not see it, we will get substantial news of Switch 2 next year. And the best case scenario is we get like a trailer or a reveal in March.
I think March. I was literally
Yeah,
thinking
March.
March. Yeah.
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 And then the console is a now like reveal sorry, the console is released sometime in September, October.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I think March is good. Literally, as you said March, it literally like 5 seconds before you said March, it appeared in my head. Yeah. So I mean, Nintendo wise, I do think like right after that big February, like because a lot of big games are coming out in February, like how we were throughout this show, we were talking about how February is going to be super stacked with a bunch of games. I think after that like stacked February, when the dust just kind of clears up a little bit, Nintendo is just going to drop the nuke that is the Switch 2. I think, and
Yeah.
it's going to be in a non-direct fashion. They'll probably
Yeah.
have their February direct, which goes over like Princess Peach and Paper Mario and whatever.
It's gonna
And
be the most mid direct ever. It's gonna be like,
yeah,
here's all the games we announced, and here's one more game, which is a remake. And it's like some random remake, and then the one final thing will be the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, and that will be the thing that makes me go insane. That'll be the
yeah.
only thing I like from that direct.
I could actually see that happening. They remaster that game for next year.
I would be so happy if they did that. Oh my
Yeah,
God. I would be
and
so happy if they did that.
yeah, guys. So expect I guess Switch 2 announcement in March is probably Nintendo is just gonna kind of wait for this dust to settle. I think they're gonna try to see. I think this is like a financial like test, I guess, where they want to see how well they could do selling their products without like any marketing pushes as the dust starts to settle as they pave their way for their next console, which will should be announced by March of next year, by the end of March of next year.
We shall see.
Yeah, and then it was
I'm
really.
just yeah.
I
Oh,
was
sorry,
just
continues.
I was just gonna say because I want to shout out this game because it's just it looks so amazing and I can't wait to
Yeah.
play it, and I've never been this hyped for an indie game other than Hollow Knight and Silksong. But Phaland here, Nishquick, I got to send you the trailer.